Well, Hunkydory has done a variety of brand new things for us, and these, some are certainly winter, others can be used year-round. I'll show them to you, but here is one of the cards that Heidi has made, and I've got a lot of other ideas for you too. Won't you please come play with us? Okay, before we get into the projects, just let me show you what the product is. So these are, well, you can see Foliage craft wire, which means that this is on a piece of wire. In fact, I've cut off a piece. You can see this is holly, and it is 3 yards long, so 36 inches. And there's a lot that you can do. So one in holly and one in leaves. Okay, so that's going to be interesting and fun. Then there's also these wood chipboard pieces, and they are all laser cut, as you can see. In fact, let's see, Snowflakes, there are 20 pieces. The Snowmen, there are 45. And this is called winter trimmings. There are 35 pieces. And so there's multiples of each of the shapes that you see, and lots of things that you can do with them. And they come in this little wooden box too that you can also decorate. So I'm going to just set these aside, and we'll get into first with our holly. And here is Heidi's first card. So she has used a slimline card, as you can see, and she used, let me bring it out. This is seasonal, sparkling season. This is the 12 by 12, so this is the front of it. And this is the sheet that she used, and I think it's really interesting and very clever how she used it. So she has just trimmed off part of it. Let's see, it looks to me like it's this part right here. So she's just trimmed off that arch to go just inside the front of her slimline card. Very neat. And then she took a piece of the, in this case it's the holly. Now, she wrapped this around multiple times to create a piece that's very tall. Now, if you want, that's going to work great. And I love how she hung it with a piece of ribbon. And this ribbon is out of the burgundy set. And that just works really nicely. So what she did is she looped it around and then had the back attached to the back of her card, and then she used the solid sparkling season to cover that up. So that worked nicely. And then this is knotted in place, and then she just did a knotted bow right on top, just a knotted piece. And then she put red jewel dazzles. Now you know what those look like, but just in case, there's some that I used right there. This is the one that's got 540 pieces. So she's placed those. I'm not sure if you can see that far away. There we go. We'll get a little bit closer, and you can see they're just perched on those branches. There are some of the die cuts that has been foam taped on place. And so again, that's one that doesn't have any greeting, and then a greeting attached over the top. That works nicely. Before we move on from the front, just back up for just a second. I just wanted to show you that you could take a piece. Now this is probably 16 inches long, and simply wrap it like so. And you've got, because this is so full, you have a wreath. If you wanted to just go 2 wraps, you have a flatter one than what Heidi has used. So there's just a lot of ways. Boy, that 3 yards of it is going to go a long way. So that works nicely. And because it's wire, you can attach it to itself. Okay. Now on the inside of her card, so you saw the solid. This is another piece out of that same sheet that she used on the front, and this is again going into the die cuts. So she's got a border that's down flat, and she's got this foam taped, another of the burgundy ribbon. And by the way, when she's making those bows, you know she's going to use the bow maker, because that's what Heidi loves. And this is what the package of sparkling season die cuts that she's used several here. And she did use red jewel on the front, but on the inside she used the gold jewel. You can kind of see them sparkling right there. very, very pretty and very easy to duplicate. And you can do this for Christmas. It's a little bit late, but if you're hand carrying it, it's going to work. But you can also use it for next Christmas, so that will be nice. Now let's get into the leaf one. That's this one. And Heidi has made a Christmas card out of this, so just kind of looking ahead. And you can see that she has just draped that across the front. And the way that she did that was pretty clever, because she took this sheet. This is out of Christmas Critters. So she took this area, trimmed that, and matted it onto, so let's just show you. So Christmas Critters, just so you know where we are, onto one of the solid Christmas Critters, the green in this case. And then she took a length of this, of the leaves, and just draped it and tucked the wires in the back, and then foam taped that piece to her card front. That way it's kind of elevated a little bit to tuck those wires in. And then you can also attach it a couple of places with Zots or foam tape, whatever you like. That burgundy ribbon is used again, and the gold jewel dazzles is used again. On the back, on the inside of her card, so she used that for the front. Well, there's the inside. And she has used, again, one of the die cuts and the bow out of the burgundy, and the gold jewel dazzles. Just makes it so easy. When you start looking, I bet you're going to find lots of places to use this. Okay, now we're going to get into the laser cut chipboard, and this is the first one that she did. And she simply used the gold Delicata ink pad. So she simply just tapped them onto the chipboard, and then so she let those dry a little bit, and she used, this is the Sparkling Season. Now she used that in the first card, so she's using it again, but this time the 6x6. And this is the sheath that she used, that kind of snowfall lights. It just works perfectly with the snowflakes, doesn't it? And so that covers her card. She did trim this down to be 6 by 5 inches, okay? And she used the gold thin line dazzles to become the hanger for those snowflakes. I thought that was fun. And when they dried, she glued them onto her card, and then she put a bit of glue on the ends, and she dipped them into the soft snowfall. Now I'm not going to dip them, but I will show you the soft snowfall, because this is how I have it at home, actually. I just have it in a plastic container. And so take those and just dip the ends in here, and they'll dry right away. So that's not a problem. And you're going to get that very frothy, frosty look, which is going to work nicely. And on the inside of her card, now this is another of the sheets. Oh, you know what? I didn't tell you about the joy. The joy comes from this package. It's called Christmas Greetings. You get black, white, gold, silver, red, and green. There's the red one. She used the gold. It's a gold pearl. So it has the same kind of muted gold that the snowflakes have. So that's really pretty. And she did put some stars in there, which is also on the sheet. Here she used green Good Tidings. This is a cutout, and there's another snowflake done exactly the same way. She did use the 1/8 inch ribbon to, this is just a knotted bow that's knotted in place, and then she used that with the bow maker to tie her bows. Now I want to give you some other ideas for those snowflakes, because you've got 20 of them. So why not do some different things? So we're going to get in close to these, and I can show you. Now this is the glitter paste, and as I wiggle it, you can see it. Now this is new from Hunkydory. This is the gold one right here, and the blue one is on the left, as you can see. And what I found when I first started, I was using a little sponge to tap it on, but I found that it clogged into all of those evacuated spaces. So what was perfect was that tiny blending brush that's out of our set of 3, because I could just put them on like this, and it worked beautifully. I could also go back and do a second layer if I wanted to. So that was really nice. Okay, now stencil butters. If you have not been watching our Stencils and More series, this might be brand new to you, but stencil butter is kind of like frosting, and it's so neat. This is the copper that was used right here. And same thing, I just applied it with the blending brush. I found that this narrow one just really worked better because nothing got plugged up. And here is the denim that was just worked really well too. And like I said, they're kind of like frosting. I don't know if you can see it as I just open this. Probably not, but isn't that rich color? They are gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. Okay, this is silver glitter texture paste. Now let me see if I have that. Oh dear. Okay, I don't. Well, you'll see it. It's on it's on the website, but you can see that that really pretty color. This is lunar paste that is also available. And my flashy one that I was also extremely happy with, again, this is a thing that we do in the stenciling, but look, you can just do it so much more, use so many more things. And this uses two products. This uses tacky when dry, which is amazing, amazing, people. And again, I just brushed it on. Now, this is white, as you can see. When it's clear, that means it's dry. Then I took my fabulous foil, this is the silver, laid it on top, pressed down, lifted it, and look what it did. It gave me that gold finish. So you could have all colors of snowflakes, all colors of anything using this process. So very neat. So I just wanted to share with you because you do have 20 snowflakes in that package. So there's just lots of goodies you can do. Okay, now let's move on to her last card, which is this one. And this is using a couple of things. It's using the little snowmen, but it's also using the winter tidings. So the paper is Christmas cardinals. I think you could have figured that out. But she did use and matted on silver glitter, which just gives you that sparkle around the edges. But look what she's done. So she is using the snowflakes and the winter tidings, okay? So what she did on the snowmen is she colored in with markers the scarves and the little mittens on 3 of them. And on the Christmas tidings, she did color in just 2 of the trees with an ink pad. And the way that she did it, and I certainly recommend, is to, in fact, she did both of them this way, is she took this is khaki, and let's see, well, I can't do the whole process, but let me just walk you through it. Okay, so I've got khaki. I'm going to tap it onto my craft mat, not my table, my craft mat. You might want to mist it with water and then pick up a brush and just color it. She did the same thing with the letterbox red to get the red. You could use a marker, an alcohol marker. I would not recommend a Sharpie because they tend to bleed, is what I found out. And you see that sparkle that's going on? Well, that is our friend Diamond Dust. So she just took some glue. So you can use the Specialist glue, the Precision, and just kind of spread glue on these, the center of those 2, and then sprinkled the Diamond Dust on top, and then tapped off the excess and glued them to her card. So that worked well. The inside of her card is the same things. This is with the Christmas cardinals and another little of the snowmen. Now, let me show you some other ideas. So I've been busy. So because you have so many snowmen, let me show you another idea. And here are 3 of them. So I did paint them white, okay? Let's have our camera not go fuzzy. Okay, so I did paint them white, and then I used the markers to do a little bit more color than what Heidi had done. I gave them black mittens and green mittens and colored their hats, colored their scarves. But then I also wanted to give them black buttons and black eyes. So I put a piece of black cardstock, you can kind of see it down there and right there, and just glued it to the back. No big deal. Then when I colored that blue, I put a piece of blue cardstock. Now the reason why that shows green is because it's blue on the other side. And I also put a smidgen of orange. So that way my little guy, I think, just has more going on. And I did it here with his red hat, with his orange nose, with his yellow scarf and his black buttons. That's what it looks like on the back. So you are putting glue on the front of the paper that you want to have showing, and that's perfectly fine. I do like that the little detail on the faces shows even after I painted them white. This one, same thing, black buttons. I did give him a red mouth, not sure you can really see that, and an orange, and then I gave him blue earmuffs and did put blue on the back of him. So there you go. So you would have perhaps maybe that going on, but you really would want to add, oh, and I didn't tell you, did I? I told you about the diamond dust, but I didn't tell you about the soft snowfall. So we did that on the snowflakes that Heidi did, but that's also right down here underneath every single one of them. So they're just coming down the mountain just really, really nicely. Okay, I'm going to move my guys and leave hers. Now, there is the trees, and there is another way. Now, these are many of the pieces that are in this package, but because so many of them are greenery, you can use the same process, which is, if you look at these, you'll notice that there are different colors of green, and that's done purposely. So, just like Heidi said that she would take khaki, put it on her craft mat, maybe spritz it with water and use it to color, you could put several colors of green, spritz them, and take your chipboard and smoosh it. Just smoosh it. And that's what I did with all of these. Then I went back and used, in fact, I used, you can use the small little blending brush. And I also used something that I'm not finding right here. The teeny tiny daubers, you can use that. And I've misplaced it. So that also worked really nicely going around the chipboard. So just to ink it, I used cocoa bean because I wanted them darker, so you can see that. And of course, adding the red jewel dazzles never hurts. But on the bow, there is a bow in addition to the wreath. So here's the wreath, here's the bow. Can we get in close to that? And I just want you to see that I did tap it with the letterbox red ink pad. Then I put crystal lacquer over the top. So it gave me a shiny bow to glue to the top of mine, and I thought that worked out really well. And this is the poinsettia. Same thing, letterbox red, but then I did the cocoa bean around the edges, and I put the gold jewel dazzles in the center, the tiny ones, and then one medium size in the center. So I just like the coloring of the multiple shades of any color, and particularly the greens. It just works really, really nicely. These images of the pieces that I did are going to be on the website with the product, so you won't miss anything. And the materials are listed on the product page. And in fact, down below, you will see that there are all of the products are listed, and what Heidi has used and what I used, and that just works really well. So we have leaves, and we have holly, and we have chipboard. Now, Heidi has done several of these. In fact, I think she did them all as Christmas. But they're really designed that they can be anytime. You know, that wreath can be used anytime. It doesn't have to be only Christmas. Snowflakes are all winter long. Snowmen frolic in the snowflakes, so that works really well too. So that's going to be nice, and I hope you enjoy all of those ideas. Now, if you happen to be watching us on YouTube, we would love it if you would head on over to paperwishes.com. You can see down below, if you click on any of the cards, you will see the materials that were used, and you'll see the instructions. As I have shown you the products that I used, I kind of did tell you how to use them, so I hope that works for you. We would love it if you would leave a message. Tell us what you think. I applaud Hunkydory for going outside the box, and I think that's really, really nice, and that will do well for all of us, won't it? Okay, I want to thank Heidi for providing lots of ideas for us as we get closer to Christmas, and I want to thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. You're very important to us, and we love having you. Okay, we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.